Now, that's something that will certainly not please IMF. The total uh, revenue collection that is targeted is something like 9.2 trillion.
As a Muslim nation with a rich history and vibrant culture, Pakistan has always strived to uphold its compassion, justice, and progress principles. However, recent years have witnessed a significant downturn in its economic landscape. Despite the nation's resilience, various factors have contributed to the rapid decline of Pakistan's economy. If you want to learn why Pakistan's economy is failing rapidly, keep watching this video to be surprised. Reason 1. Mounting debt burden. At the core of Pakistan's economic turmoil lies its ever-increasing debt burden, which poses a significant obstacle to the country's financial stability and overall development. In recent years, Pakistan has found itself trapped in an escalating debt crisis, creating a distressing reality that demands urgent attention. By December 2022, Pakistan's external debt and liabilities had soared to a staggering $126.3 billion, highlighting its financial challenges. Approximately 77% of this debt, amounting to $97.5 billion, is directly owed by the government. In addition, government-controlled public sector enterprises have accumulated an extra $7.9 billion in debt owed to multilateral creditors. The consequences of Pakistan's mounting debt burden are far-reaching and potentially catastrophic. The first major concern is the looming risk of debt default. If Pakistan were to default on its debt, it would unleash a series of devastating events. The economy would suffer severe setbacks, leading to increased political unrest and heightened terrorism risks. Such a default would also erode investor trust, making it exceedingly difficult for the country to secure future funding and attract foreign investments that are vital for sustained economic growth.
These two events disrupted our economic growth. We lost track. We then, we had a military dictatorship for 11 years, and then, the civilians who came actually did not do justice to the economy of Pakistan. Now that, we are here, Imran Khan took over an economy which was struggling in 2018 with a current account deficit of $20 billion, large fiscal deficit, and clearly not sustainable.
Compounding the problem is the burden of multilateral debt. Pakistan owes a significant portion of its total debt to various international organizations, further intensifying its economic challenges. The World Bank stands as one of the country's biggest creditors, with Pakistan owing over $18 billion. The Asian Development Bank follows closely behind with a debt of $15 billion, and the International Monetary Fund, IMF, holds approximately $7.6 billion of Pakistan's debt. While the loans these multilateral institutions provide often have favorable interest rates and extended repayment periods, the sheer magnitude of the debt places an enormous strain on Pakistan's financial resources. The burden of multilateral debt diverts significant funds away from critical areas of development, impeding progress in sectors such as healthcare, education, infrastructure, and poverty alleviation. Addressing Pakistan's mounting debt burden requires comprehensive measures and strategic planning. The government must prioritize fiscal discipline, implement effective debt management strategies, and promote sustainable economic growth. Exploring alternative sources of revenue generation, reducing reliance on external borrowing, and attracting foreign direct investment are crucial steps toward alleviating the debt crisis. Additionally, forging partnerships with multilateral institutions and engaging in constructive dialogue to negotiate favorable terms and debt restructuring can provide some relief. Simultaneously, improving governance, reducing corruption, and enhancing transparency in financial management will help restore investor confidence and rebuild trust in Pakistan's economic prospects. Reason 2. Devastating flood and its economic impact. In addition to the mounting debt and default risks, Pakistan faced a severe blow to its economy in 2022 with a devastating flood that wreaked havoc across the nation. From June to October 2022, the catastrophic flood unleashed widespread destruction and impacted the lives of approximately 33 million people.
Pakistan's GDP growth rate crashed to 0.3% in 2022-23 as political instability and natural disaster dragged the country. The country had set 5% growth target for the year. The report added that flood, damages and rehabilitation will cost the Pakistan GDP $14.9 billion and $16.3 billion respectively.
This natural disaster left a trail of devastation in its wake, causing significant damage to infrastructure, agriculture, and the overall economy. The scale and intensity of the flood were staggering, making it one of the most challenging events faced by the nation in recent times. The economic impact of the flood was substantial, exacerbating Pakistan's already fragile financial situation. Estimates suggest that the damages caused by the flood amounted to over $30 billion, further straining the country's limited resources. The destruction of homes, agricultural fields, and essential infrastructure crippled key sectors of the economy, resulting in a significant setback to Pakistan's overall development and growth prospects. Compounding the challenges posed by the flood is Pakistan's need to meet substantial external financing requirements. As of June 2023, the country faces the daunting task of fulfilling financial obligations exceeding $30 billion, encompassing energy expenses and debt repayments. However, this task seems impossible, considering Pakistan's sluggish GDP growth, estimated at a meager 2% by the World Bank. The extensive flood damage and weak economic growth significantly strain the country's ability to generate sufficient funds to meet these financial obligations. The overall slowdown in economic growth further limits the government's capacity to address the urgent needs arising from the flood and hampers efforts for long-term economic recovery. Reason 3. Advanced economies exposing Pakistan's vulnerability. The relationship between Pakistan and advanced economies continues to be characterized by persistent trade imbalances. Pakistan's heavy reliance on imports from advanced economies and its limited capacity to export high-value added goods perpetuates trade deficits. These imbalances deepen the vulnerability of Pakistan's economy, straining its foreign exchange reserves and hindering its ability to achieve sustainable trade equilibrium. Pakistan's economic vulnerabilities are not isolated within its borders, but are also influenced by its interconnectedness with several advanced economies. These economies play a significant role in shaping Pakistan's economic landscape and have the potential to expose its vulnerabilities. Here are 2 to 3 specific countries whose economies are interconnected with Pakistan's. 1. China. China is important to Pakistan's economic dynamics. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, a flagship project of China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, has established a deep economic partnership between the two nations. China has invested heavily in infrastructure development projects, energy ventures, and industrial zones within Pakistan. The economic ties between Pakistan and China are extensive, with bilateral trade reaching billions annually.
Having pledged about $62 billion in dozens of energy and infrastructure projects, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is one of the largest commercial initiatives in South Asia. The corridor stretches along the length of Pakistan, and the combined value of all the projects equals to all the foreign direct investment in the country since 1970. The mega project also marks as China's biggest overseas investment.
Any economic shocks or slowdown in China could significantly impact Pakistan's economy due to its reliance on Chinese investments and trade. 2. United States. The United States is another influential player with an interconnected economy to Pakistan. Historically, the U.S. has been a major trading partner and source of foreign investment for Pakistan. The economic relationship between the two countries encompasses diverse sectors such as textiles, agriculture, and information technology. Furthermore, the United States provides financial assistance and support to Pakistan through various channels, including the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Any shifts in U.S. economic policies or aid disbursement changes can directly affect Pakistan's economic stability. 3. United Arab Emirates, UAE. The UAE holds a significant position as one of Pakistan's key trading partners and a source of remittances. Pakistani expatriate workers in the UAE contribute substantially to the country's economy through remittances, which serve as a vital source of foreign exchange. Additionally, the UAE has made substantial investments in sectors such as real estate, banking, and energy within Pakistan. Any fluctuations in the UAE's economic landscape or policy changes impacting the expatriate workforce can affect remittance inflows and investment levels, thereby impacting Pakistan's economic outlook. These are just a few examples of advanced economies that are interconnected with Pakistan's economy. Other countries like Saudi Arabia, the United Kingdom, and Germany also have economic ties with Pakistan that influence its vulnerability. It is important for Pakistan to closely monitor and manage its economic relationships with these advanced economies, as any disruptions or changes in their economic conditions can significantly impact Pakistan's financial stability and overall economic health. Reason 4. Failure with exports, investments, and remittances. Exports, investments, and remittances play pivotal roles in shaping the current state of Pakistan's economy. Pakistan's exports have faced formidable challenges in competing within global markets. Despite having a diverse range of exportable goods, Pakistan's export performance has been affected by various factors. Inadequate infrastructure, limited value addition, and lack of product diversification have hampered Pakistan's ability to capitalize on its export potential. The country has struggled to keep pace with competitors and capture a significant share of international markets, leading to stagnant export growth and a widening trade deficit. While the government has tried attracting domestic and foreign investment, the overall investment climate remains challenging. Factors such as bureaucratic hurdles, energy shortages, and security concerns have deterred potential investors, limiting the inflow of capital needed for infrastructure development, industrial expansion, and job creation. Economic downturns and changes in labor markets abroad directly impact the remittance flow, affecting the purchasing power of households and adding strain to the economy. Moreover, Pakistan's over-reliance on remittances has limited the diversification of its revenue streams and exposed it to external shocks. Several significant events in Pakistan's history have profoundly affected its economy. The partition in 1947 resulted in the division of assets and resources, setting the stage for economic challenges. Subsequent wars and political instability further disrupted economic progress and hindered long-term development. The nationalization policies of the 1970s, while aimed at redistribution of wealth, had adverse consequences on private investment and stifled economic growth.
In the 60s, Pakistan's economy was the fourth largest economy in Asia. Then we got hit by a nationalization of assets by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in 1973, and then we entered an Afghan war in 1979. These two events disrupted our economic growth.
Reason 5. Political crisis causing instability and transition. The political landscape of Pakistan witnessed great shifts in the last 5 years. Following the general elections held in 2018, a change in government occurred as Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI) came into power. This transition, while representing democratic processes, introduced a period of political uncertainty, impacting policy continuity and decision-making. The change in government led to shifts in economic policies, with subsequent impacts on investor confidence and economic stability. Policy reversals, particularly in the energy sector and taxation, created uncertainty for businesses and investors. Inconsistent policy frameworks hindered long-term planning and undermined the trust of both domestic and foreign investors, contributing to economic volatility and hindering sustainable growth. Political turmoil and street protests added to the challenges faced by Pakistan's economy. In 2019, the country witnessed protests led by opposition parties, including the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz (PMLN) and the Pakistan People's Party PPP, demanding changes in government policies and alleging electoral irregularities. These protests disrupted economic activity, leading to business closures, traffic disruptions, and a decline in investor confidence. Several prominent figures and political parties played pivotal roles during this period of political crisis. As the Prime Minister, Imran Khan faced the challenge of steering the country amid economic and political pressures. Opposition leaders, including Nawaz Sharif, former Prime Minister and leader of PMLN, and Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, leader of PPP, led opposition movements and voiced concerns over the government's policies. The tensions between the ruling party and the opposition further contributed to the political crisis and its economic implications. The political crisis and resulting instability have had significant economic consequences for Pakistan. Uncertainty and policy reversals disrupted business operations, hindered foreign direct investment, and affected investor confidence. The weakened economy faced challenges in achieving sustainable growth, reducing unemployment, and attracting much-needed investments. This economic impact and other factors discussed earlier further contributed to Pakistan's failing economy from 2018 to 2023. And still, Pakistan is facing many political issues under the government of PMLN, led by the current Prime Minister, Mr. Mian Muhammad Shahbaz Sharif.
Inflation, a major headache for the average Pakistani, continued to be very high in 2022-23. The urban and rural core inflation in that fiscal year stood at 16% and 20.1% respectively. This was way more than the 7.8% urban and 8.6% rural inflation recorded in the previous fiscal 2021-22. Pakistan's Finance Minister Ishaq Dar blamed the Imran Khan government for the ballooning current account deficit, which shows that imports are more in value than exports.
Proposed measures to overcome these challenges. Here is what Pakistan can do to balance its economy and stop it from falling rapidly. Improving governance and transparency. Improving governance and transparency is crucial for restoring investor confidence and ensuring effective economic management. Strengthening institutions, promoting meritocracy, and implementing anti-corruption measures are essential. Pakistan should work towards creating an enabling environment for businesses through transparent procurement processes, effective contract enforcement, and robust intellectual property rights protection. Strengthening regional and international economic integration. Pakistan should actively pursue regional and international economic integration to expand market access and enhance competitiveness. Strengthening trade agreements, participating in regional economic forums, and fostering connectivity and infrastructure projects can facilitate greater regional trade and investment flows. Collaborating with neighboring countries and leveraging their comparative advantages can create mutually beneficial economic opportunities and boost Pakistan's economic growth. Strengthening fiscal discipline. Pakistan should prioritize fiscal discipline to manage its mounting debt and reduce dependency on external borrowing. This involves implementing effective tax reforms, broadening the tax base, improving tax administration, and curbing leakages. Rationalizing government expenditures, enhancing transparency in public financial management, and strengthening accountability mechanisms are vital steps in ensuring responsible fiscal practices. Promoting export diversification and competitiveness. To reduce the trade deficit and enhance resilience, Pakistan must focus on diversifying its export base and improving its competitiveness. This entails supporting export-oriented industries, facilitating access to credit and technology, promoting innovation and research, and investing in skill development to enhance the quality of products. Strengthening trade infrastructure, streamlining trade procedures, and exploring new markets can help Pakistan expand its export potential. Enhancing the investment climate. Pakistan should prioritize creating an attractive investment climate to encourage domestic and foreign investments. This involves implementing the ease of doing business, simplifying regulatory procedures, and ensuring policy consistency and predictability. Addressing energy shortages, enhancing infrastructure development, and strengthening investor protection rights are crucial to attracting investments. Investing in human capital development. Prioritizing investment in human capital is essential for sustainable economic development. Pakistan should allocate adequate resources to improve the quality of education and healthcare systems. Enhancing vocational and technical training programs can align the workforce with evolving market demands. Promoting research and development initiatives, fostering innovation ecosystems, and nurturing a culture of entrepreneurship can unlock Pakistan's potential for knowledge-based industries. Ultimately, the country must take decisive action to revive Pakistan's economy and build a prosperous future. The people must work together to support responsible fiscal practices, promote export diversification, attract investments, strengthen governance, and invest in human capital. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow our channel for more insightful content.